What's up, y'all? Week number 5 of the NFL is finally here, and NFL has been pretty impressive so far, in my opinion. I am that dude. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel, and we have a lot to get into in this episode. And first and foremost, let's go ahead and go over my record from the past week and what we've done so far this season. We're 6-2 coming into this week number 4 last week, and we went one of our worst weeks so far. We went 2-3. We had Seattle -5, and then we had the Chargers -15.5 playing Miami. That was an easy cash. And then we lost the Chiefs, lost one to the Lions, and honestly, that game, the Lions very well could have won that game. They had 2 fumbles that didn't go their way in their own, 10-yard line, inside the 10-yard line for them. So the Lions looked really good. We've been really good with the Lions so far this year. And then the Texans got beat outright by the Panthers. Didn't see that coming. The Panthers and the backup quarterback are playing some pretty good ball right now, and Cam Newton needs to be rooting against the Panthers, in my opinion, if he wants to get his job back. That could be a bold prediction. I think Cam Newton comes back and he gets his job easily, but you never know. They're 2-0 without Cam. With Cam, they had lost the past 8 games. And then we took the Cowboys -2.5 against the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints took care of business. A fumble by Zeke, a fumble by Witten didn't help us any. I'll say that. So we are now sitting at 8-5 throughout the season. Not bad, still profitable, and that's always the goal. So in this video, we're going to talk about our games of the week, our official plays, and a couple more things I'm going to talk about. So be sure to stick around. Question of the day, y'all. Who has been your biggest surprise team, most impressive team throughout the first 4 weeks of the NFL? In my opinion, it has to be the Detroit Lions. Matt Stafford, what he's doing with that team right now. They should have won that game against the Chiefs last weekend. If you watched it, you know exactly what I mean. That's simply the quick answer. Detroit Lions for me. Drop a comment down below and let me know who your biggest surprise, impressive team is through the first 4 weeks. All right, y'all. So to start off the video, let's go ahead and look at our games of the week. Thursday night football this week is going to be a pretty solid game with the Rams at Seattle. Probably going to have some pretty nasty weather. Usually that's how it goes in Seattle. Some rainy, windy, cold weather. I think it's going to be down in the 50s, so we'll see what happens. The Rams, coming from LA, they definitely aren't used to that weather. So that is going to play effect in this game. Seattle is sitting at -1 right now, and it's probably right where it should be. Is Todd Gurley going to get the ball? Are they going to hand off the ball? Are they going to use that run game? That's something I'm looking forward to seeing, and we will see. So another game, I have to mention this game. My Raiders, 2-2 now. Shout out to the Raider Nation. Looking at playing the Bears in London. So is this necessarily a primetime game? I don't know. The Bears are at -6 right now. That's the line. It was around -4. It's bumped up to -6 now. I do think that's a lot of points to a Raiders team that has been playing pretty good so far this year, and they've actually looked gritty, I'll say. I don't have a play in this game, but it's in London. Had to talk about it, and I do think it'll be a pretty cool game. Another game that I will actually be at, I will probably have a video with a vlog or something like that with me and the guys. We're going to be going to the Bills, playing the Titans in Nashville. Titans are at -3 right now. You never know what you're going to get from the Titans. Let's just be honest. You can have them blow out the Browns, then you can have them get blown out. It doesn't make much sense. They can't beat the Colts. I've been saying that for weeks now, and last year I said it as well. So going to be a gritty matchup. Two good defenses. The Bills' defense looked great last week against Tom Brady, and I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere to watch. I hope Josh Allen is playing. So I'll be there. I'll be sure to try to get you guys some footage of that. Another game that I think is going to be a good one this week is the Packers at the Cowboys. No Devontae Adams, we get it. But in my opinion, this is a spot that Aaron Rodgers needs to prove what he is worth. Tom Brady wins with anybody catching the ball. They don't need to let Devontae Adams being out stop them from beating the Cowboys. Okay, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints just beat them. Surely Aaron Rodgers and whoever he has can beat the Cowboys. So that's just something I'm looking at. I want to see what Aaron Rodgers has got. Yes, he's amazing. I've said that forever now, but I do think he's overrated. We'll see what happens. Cowboys are really good still. Good defense, good offense. Dak in that offense. I'm looking forward to seeing that game. And then the Browns at the 49ers. Two undefeated teams going at it this week. I'm sorry, not two undefeated teams. We have one of the last undefeated teams with the 49ers. They are 3-0. And then we have the Browns. One of the hotter teams coming off last week's victory, playing the Ravens, which was an impressive win against the Ravens, if I must say. They blew them out. Baker got back on track. Didn't even have to use OBJ. Didn't throw it to OBJ. Let me go ahead and add that. And Nick Chubb looked fantastic. I do think this will be a good game. I will have a play on this. And that's kind of what we're looking at going into week number 5. That's my games of the week to watch. Although there's a lot of good games. You have the Colts playing the Chiefs. Sunday Night Football, that's going to be a good game to watch. Brissett has been really good. You also have the Chargers and Broncos, which is a rivalry game, essentially. It is a division matchup. You have two quarterbacks that aren't really known in the league yet, with Minshew and Allen playing against each other. Patriots playing the Redskins, which is going to be a blowout. I feel bad for Dwayne Haskins. Ravens Steelers, which is pretty solid game. And then the Buccaneers and the Saints is a sleeping game in my opinion. I think that's going to be a fun game. I think the Buccaneers are a lot better than what people really thought. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if they're really true contenders after that game, after they play the Saints in New Orleans. They've already went to LA and beat the Rams, really smoked the Rams. So that was a good win for them. We'll see what they're really all about this week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into our official plays of the week. Like I mentioned last week, it was tough on us. We went 2-3. We're going to change that this weekend. Don't worry about that. College football was on fire last weekend. Make sure to tune in to tomorrow's episode. We lit it up. And we're feeling really strong about this week as well. So that's just a little teaser. Be there for tomorrow. But going into this week, our official plays of the week is going to be the Cardinals. I feel like the number 1 draft pick overall is going to get his first win. I feel like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have a lot going for them. I think he's only going to get better. I have no faith in Andy Dalton and the Bengals. Joe Mixon, the line doesn't work for him. They lost John Ross, and now, really, what is Andy Dalton going to do? He's not that good. So the best thing going for the Bengals right now is that that's not a primetime game. Andy Dalton may show up for it. But I do feel like this is a good spot to pick the Cardinals, getting 3 points, and that's going to be an official play. Another play that I really like, probably my strongest play this weekend, well, one of my strongest plays this weekend is the Vikings -5.5. I believe they beat the Giants by 2 field goals at least. I feel like this is going to be a comeback game for the Vikings after getting beat. After Kirk Cousins and the Adam Thielen drama, it's all out there. If you haven't heard about it, Thielen basically said we have to be able to throw the ball. Kirk Cousins basically said, I'm sorry, Adam Thielen. I'm going to get you the ball. Dalvin Cook's been an amazing running back so far. And then they also have Stephon Diggs with their defense being amazing. They're just a better team. They're a better defense. They have a truly playoff contending, Super Bowl contending team if Kirk Cousins can figure it out. It's that simple. So with the Giants and Daniel Jones, I don't think that they are that good essentially still. There's a reason why they got the 6th pick overall. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Daniel Jones has been outstanding. They still don't have Saquon Barkley. So give me the Vikings, -5.5. Love it. And then my next one, and I love this one as well, the Broncos. They are awful. And they're playing at the Chargers. This is another get-back game. The Chargers are trying to find some momentum going into this week. They just came off of a good win. And Melvin Gordon is going to be activated this week. Last week he was activated, didn't really play. I do think that he's going to get some touches this weekend. And I feel like the Chargers, they do have some injuries. I will say that. But they are a touchdown better than the Broncos, especially at home. Broncos have shown no signs of life so far this season. And I think this is a really good spot. The Chargers are going to be focused. It's a division matchup like I mentioned earlier. So this is one that truly has a lot of meaning to this Chargers team that has a lot of high hopes for the rest of this season. And then another one that I want to mention is the Ravens at -3.5. They just got blown out by the Browns. And I don't think that they were very happy with that. They're going to be playing a Steelers team who just came off of a high victory on Monday Night Football. I don't think that Rudolph and the Steelers are that good just yet. I do believe in Rudolph. I do think that he's a better quarterback than just throwing it 3 yards like everyone's talking about right now. I think he's going to be a fine quarterback. But I think the Ravens and that defense and Lamar Jackson bounce back this week and win that game. The Ravens -3.5. I feel like that's a play. And then the Browns +3.5. Playing the 49ers. 49ers are undefeated. It is a Monday night game, primetime game for the 49ers. This is everything for them. I get that. But D Ford, Bosa, they've been questionable. Really haven't played full games just yet. That's a huge part of their defense. And I think the Browns are pretty good. The talent is there for sure. Baker Mayfield, Chubb, OBJ, Landry, and then their defense is outstanding as well. Yes, they need some cornerback help. They need some defensive back helps, and they need them to get healthy. But I still feel that this is a Browns team that is a contender. I feel like this is a Browns team that's going to get a win on Monday Night Football, and they're getting 3.5 points. So that made that pick pretty easy for me. I'll go over these one more time at the end really quickly. But, some of the games that kind of were leaning for me, I like the Bucs getting 3.5 against the Saints. The Bucs can score some runs, or some points, I should say. And I think Jameis is using the most of, or making the most of his talent around him this year. They have a lot of weapons. Godwin, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard hasn't even touched the ball yet. Ronald Jones Jr. is starting to be a good running back now. So they have a lot of weapons. Their defense, Shaq Barrett, if you do not know him, go look at what he has done this year on the defensive side of the ball. Truly magnificent. You think Mack is the best defensive player this year so far? Shaq Barrett, through the first quarter of the year, has been the best defensive player in the league. Hands down. Go look it up. Let me know what you think on that. And then another, I think personally that the Colts getting 11 points against the Chiefs is too much. McCoy is probably going to be out of this game. Tyreek Hill is questionable, may return this week. Damian Williams is going to return this week. It sounds like that's something that I'm waiting to hear about. But I feel like 11 points is a lot of points to be given a good Colts team that is always in games and always competes with Brissett, who has thrown 2 touchdowns in every single game so far this year. I think he may be the only quarterback that has done such so far this year. So that's the one that I'm thinking about. I think that the Texans are giving 5 points to the Falcons. Falcons haven't looked good at all this year, don't get me wrong, but neither has Houston. I feel like Houston's giving a little bit too many points right there. These are just some leans of mine. These are not official plays. And then I'll give you these two. I'll go ahead and say these underdogs, I feel that these underdogs have a strong chance of winning this weekend. I'm going to give you 5 underdogs that could get an outright win, and I'll give you my top 3 after I give you all of them. The Bucks, I feel like they could beat the Saints. The Cardinals, I feel like they could beat the Bengals. The Jaguars, feel like they could win that game against who are they playing? Yeah, against the Panthers. And then the Browns and the Bills. I feel like all 5 of those teams, all 5 of those money lines could cash. If I had to pick 3 of those, I'd pick the Browns, Cardinals, and the Jaguars. So I feel like all those games are very winnable for those underdog teams. Getting points. Let me go ahead and add that there. Getting points. And, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this video. It's going to be another good week of NFL. It's going to be another great week of fantasy football. And I'm going to be there in Nashville this weekend. So if you're going to be there, let me know. And my official plays one more time. Cardinals +3. Vikings -5.5. Chargers -6.5. The Ravens -3.5. And then the Browns +3.5. Taking some points, giving some points. It's all out there. I appreciate you for being here on this channel, on this video. If you don't mind, could you drop a like for me? Help me grow the channel. Subscribe if you are new. And tell your friends. And come back tomorrow for our college football video. And as always, hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.